All right, great Monday morning. After some technical difficulties, it would not be 15 minutes to mastery every once in a while without having some technical difficulties. But anyway, back in here with you this Monday morning, Cesar Mascoro Jr. with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery. We're getting started with our 15 minutes to mastery, where we share a little bit of word with, we share some inspiration, we share some application of that word to life, to business, and especially into manufactured home sales. And today, our quote says this exactly. All right, you guys ready for this? Here we go. It's by D. Michael Abrashoff. Show me an organization in which employees take ownership, and I will show you one that beats its competitors. Once again, show me an organization in which employees take ownership, and I will show you one that beats its competitors. Now, this whole week, or actually the last few days, I would say probably since the middle of last week, I've been talking to everyone about taking ownership, about operating from a standpoint of ownership within the manufactured home business, right? That's what we talk about. That's what we work with: sales consulting, sales training in manufactured home sales, because that's what I've done the last 15 years. Not the actual consulting and training, but I was in the manufactured home sales business for 14 years, and then launched Manufactured Home Sales Mastery in April of 2023 to be able to bring some fresh, updated, and applicable training and consulting to retailers and communities and housing consultants throughout the country, because that's something that's missing, right? So last week, I had the privilege of being able to get back on the sales floor, man. I went back on the sales floor for the whole week, Monday through Friday. I worked the sales floor in Tyler, Texas, over at Mobile Home Masters. Came in, I was not there to do any sort of sales training, not there to do any sort of sales consulting, although we did some while I was there, obviously. But my main role in being there was to be on the sales floor so that I could make sure that my skills were sharp. Also, at the same time, I was able to help them out. But it mainly helped me, I'll be honest with you, it helped me so much in what it is that I do on a daily basis, because I wanted to make sure that all the information that we're providing you, the retailer, the consultant, the retailer, the factories, lenders, is all applicable. It's modern day, real world stuff. It's not something that was taught 20 years ago. It's not talking about the business as if the last time you were in it was 20, 30 years ago, actually in front of customers doing this thing, right? Because even when I was on the sales floor, even when I was in the business still of sales, man, I still had a lot of managers and upper management people who were a little out of touch. Let's just be honest, and they were out of touch with what it is to sell manufactured homes today. Right? Because maybe they were in the business in the 90s, in the 2000s, when the laws were different, when you could get deals done a whole lot quicker, a lot easier, and with a lot less money down, right? And so that was one of the things that I always, man, I always took issue with, in a sense of, I get what you're saying, that we could do so much more, but it doesn't run the same way now than it did back then. And there was always that disconnect, right? And so I vowed when I started Manufactured Home Sales Mastery that whatever we taught, whatever we provided information on when we were consulting or whatnot, would be applicable today, would be something as far as how the business runs today. And so that's why I went ahead and got on the sales floor last week, to make sure that the information we were bringing you, even though I've just been out of the business for 10 months, is still applicable today. And by golly me, it runs the same, but it doesn't. Okay. But it was so much fun to get on the sales floor and to jump back in and not worry about anything else but that, right? And so I came in on Monday of last week, exactly today, showed up around a little before 8 o'clock and got started. No momentum whatsoever. Just started crushing old leads that were in the CRM that had not been into the store, and posting ads and attacking whatever people were responding to me, and came out with some great results. And I'm not here to talk about that. The reason that I'm bringing all of that up is because I did have what I call an aha moment while I was there. By like midday Tuesday, I figured this thing out. When I was selling before, whether I was a housing consultant, whether I was a sales manager, general sales manager, or general manager, I believed deep down in my heart, 100%, I believe that I took responsibility within the organization and that I operated as best as I could, and that I operated as if I owned the place. I tried to be respectful of everyone. I tried to make sure that I was taking care of the things that need to take care of, that I wasn't putting more work on other people, that my GM knew that I was on it when it had to do with my deals, right? And that was great. And as I moved up the ranks, and even as a general manager, I thought, man, I run this place like as if I own it. And I spent the time there. I spent the time at the office. I mean, I'm telling you, I was there 6 days a week. 6 days a week. And most days, even on Saturday, I was there till we closed, till the last person was leaving. I was there because I wanted to make sure that my team was getting all the business that we could get. So I really convinced myself and felt that I was operating as an owner. And what I realized on Tuesday of last week, halfway through the day on Tuesday, I realized that I was not operating as an owner. I was not as dedicated to the outcome as I thought I was, because coming in Monday of last week into Mobile Home Masters in Tyler, Texas, I'm telling you, I approached those leads. I approached every call. I approached every ad I placed, and every response I got in a whole different manner, with a whole different level of intensity and intentionality, because I was operating the way I operate now that I own Manufactured Home Sales Mastery. Because at Manufactured Home Sales Mastery, folks, just starting out 10 months into it, if we don't get any business, we have zero money coming in, zero, zilch. There is no salary. There is no base pay. There is nothing if we're not getting the business that we need to be getting. And believe me, for the first 6 months, we got no business, $0, $0 the first 6 to 7 months. The last 4 months is when we really started taking it on. And the last 4 months is when I really would have to say that I just 100% was fully engaged in understanding that it is do or die. And that's how I approached my sales week last week. Every call I made, every ad I placed, like I said, was done with the same intentionality and same level of effectiveness and desire and dire need, that if I didn't get a hold of these people, I didn't get them in, if I couldn't convince them to come and see me, and I didn't sell anything last week, that I would have major issues. And because of that, I was able to set 6 appointments, get 4 of them in last week, 1 on Monday, 1 on Tuesday, sold 2 homes. Tuesday and Wednesday sold 1, got 1 of each of those days. And then I've got a new one that's starting up this week from people that I spoke to last week. And that was all with zero momentum, but that was all because I operated with ownership. So if you, the housing consultant out there, if you, and I'm not just talking to housing consultants, this goes to you managers, sales managers, general managers. If you operate as a true owner, where you do not let the things just slide, you don't let things go by, because if they slip through your hands, you're not going to have money. If you operated that way, if you had to pay the bills for the flooring, GM, if you truly had to take your checkbook out and write the check yourself for the flooring, for the rent on your building, or the mortgage on your location, for all the salaries, the commissions, the deliveries, everything. If you had to pay all of that out of your own pocket each and every month before you saw a dime, not that it was on a P&L, but you actually had to pay it. And then you got to take money home, because that's the case for us that truly own this thing. All of that stuff has to get paid before we take any money home. You would operate so much differently. You would operate with a whole different level of intentionality, and you would be that much more hungry and that much more effective. You would let less people walk out the door without committing to buy from you if they can buy, because you know that every deal counts. And I'm not saying that you don't feel that every deal counts, but right now you don't feel the pain of having to write those things yourself. You don't feel the pain of writing the checks yourself. And that if you're $0 left for the month, you got $0 for the house, for the family, for your food, for everything. If you operated with that intentionality as a sales consultant, as a general manager, a sales manager, general sales manager, whatever role you've got on the sales floor, you would operate so much differently, and you'd be that much more effective. Okay. So what does it take? It takes having that hunter's mentality, man. Every call I made was made with that mentality, with that train of thought, and taking responsibility for the good and the bad. Okay, taking responsibility for it. It's nobody else's fault but yours. Whoever it is that's watching this right now, it's nobody else's fault but yours, of whatever is good and whatever is bad. But if you operated with that hunter's mentality, you would not give up as easily. If you knew that you had to stroke all those checks yourself out of your own personal account before you saw any money for yourself, you would not give up so easily on this. You wouldn't give up so easily on the marketing, on the calls, on the appointments, on the sales process. You would stick to everything. You wouldn't give up so easily when the people tell you that well, I just need to think about it. And right now you're like, okay, well, here's my card. Let me know. But if you knew that customer was who was paying the bills for you, and if before your family got to see anything, you had to get that deal, you would be that much more engaged to make sure that you got the deal done. So it takes that commitment to winning. If you can operate in that manner, folks, if you can be that type of housing consultant, if you can be that type of upper management person, if you can just take ownership, you will beat out each and every one of your competitors within your own location and in your area. You can be at top of the market, but it takes having the owner's mentality. And that is the main thing that I took away from my being on the sales floor last week at Mobile Home Masters in Tyler, Texas, was the fact that I realized the difference of operating with an owner's mentality and that of just an employee. Even as a manager, general manager, sales manager, you may think you're doing those things, but for the majority of us, we're really not. And I don't tell you that in a condescending way, man. I know I realized I wasn't doing it myself, because every time that I closed up shop for the day without doing the things that I knew that had to get done, because if not, that deal was not going to get funded in time or what. And that's it, man. I pushed as much as I could. I can honestly say, but I know that there were those moments that I just said, I'll get to tomorrow. And right now, as a business owner, there is no tomorrow. Kind of like in Rocky, right? There is no tomorrow, man. It's right now. It's today. So I hope that you can take this message and take it the right way, and that you'll use it and implement it into your daily strategy and your daily self within the industry, so that you can take your business, your career, and your life to a whole new level in manufactured home sales, because that is what you can do. Commit to winning, commit to being the best you can, commit to an owner's mentality, and watch it just skyrocket. You guys have a great week. Have a great Monday. And as always, we're here at Manufactured Home Sales Mastery to help you, the retailer, the community, the housing consultant, factories, lenders. Doesn't matter if you're in the business, we're here to help. Reach out to us. You can message us however you can get a hold of us, and we are here to help you be able to take your business, your career, and your life to a whole new level, just like I mentioned. So until then, folks, as always, I can't wait to meet you.